Get in here. I don't like my hair no more because I feel like the beads made me look like Stevie Wonder. These are the only beads he had. I wanted the wooden beads. I did it. I don't like it no more. And one thing about me with my hair, honey, I will change my hair so quick. So I already got another appointment scheduled to do something different. I don't like it. But look at my length. Anyway, y'all, get in here. Write your questions. I'm going to answer what I want to answer. I'm going to skip what I don't want to answer. And if I don't see your question, I don't see your question. Hey, Mrs. Moody. Mrs. Moody. Hey, New Zealand queen. You're in New Zealand? You're watching me from New Zealand? You say he could have just took off the beads. No, he burned the ends. And I ain't trying to go all the way down there to do that. The truth of the matter is, I just like to change my looks a lot. Okay, that's just is what it is. Okay? I'm feeling like I need to go back to curls. I'm feeling like I want to try something different. I don't know. I just be doing shit. That's just the bottom line. Anyway, y'all, if I wasn't taking my hair out, I wouldn't be talking to y'all right now, okay? So I'm talking to y'all while I take my hair out. So do you want me to keep my hair in and cut this off and do something else? Or would you like me to talk to y'all? So we have other options. Okay? All right? Okay? We're taking it out. Anyway, y'all, write your questions in here. I'm going to skip what I don't answer. If I don't see your question, I'll see your question. I asked a question earlier on my Instagram. I was asking you girls, would you ever date outside of your race? I'm curious about this. I had a woman who wrote in, it was on my Facebook Live. You can go watch that to get more detail. But anyway, a woman wrote in, she was a black woman saying she's struggling. She feels like she's struggling to find a black man to be with. She's getting older and older, blah, 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 blah. That was her thing. She said, she just feels like some of the experiences she's having with black men are difficult. I'm not trying to typecast. I'm not here to say if her experience is not my experience, right? Just like your experience is not my experience. Everyone's experience is different. So I can't defend her position, nor can I minimize her position. But I do think it's a conversation that deserves to be had. Because I'm not trying to remove white women or non-black women from this conversation. I'm really not. It's just, for this part of the topic, I think you all will understand why this is very relevant to black women. But I would love to get your opinions as well. Because many white women date outside their race as well. Many Indian women, many Latin women do, so on and so forth. My point is this. A lot of black men are open in terms of who they're willing to date. And a lot of them are stigmatized for doing it. I've seen the looks that black men get when they're walking around with their white or Asian or Latino or whatever non-black partner. I see the way some, not all, some black women look at them, the sense of judgment. I hear the things they say. And my point is this. Why are y'all not doing the same thing? I'm not promoting it. I'm not saying you should or shouldn't. I'm just asking, why don't you if you don't? And and are you open to it? That's all I'm asking. Let me switch this way. That'll be better. You said use a pen, girl. I'm in an Airbnb right now because I'm in the process of moving. Okay, I ain't got no pen over here. I got this. I had to buy this from the store. I don't even know what the fuck kind of scissors this is. This is the one that they had. I bought this from the little delivery thing, like almost like Uber Eats. You know what I mean, girl? I'm working with what I got. What Mariah sound? I got to do the best I can with what I got. Okay. All I know is I want my hair taken out. Okay. I was doing a live earlier, and I saw one woman wrote on there. She said she would be open to doing this shit, but she's afraid of what you said pull the ends apart after you cut it, baby. What you think I'm doing? I appreciate y'all's help, baby, but I don't know what the fuck y'all telling me to do that's different than what I'm already doing. I'm one of these bitches that get frustrated when people give me advice and I don't know how to apply it. I'm like, what the fuck are you telling me to do? So anyway, check your questions box. Oh, thank you. Let me see here. But I appreciate the advice. I really do. How to address a guy who is... I'll go to that later. The fuck? I'm talking about something different right now. Not that I don't care about y'all's questions, but I'm in the middle of a fucking topic. The fuck? So anyway... I feel like this is a relevant topic. Y'all talk about breadcrumbing. Why don't you open your options up? I ain't saying that non-black men won't breadcrumb you. I'm just saying open your options up. Maybe you wouldn't tolerate so much bullshit from these men if you had more options. Black, white, blue, or purple. I just feel like a woman with more options is a woman who generally tolerates less shit. The ones who tolerate the most shit are the ones who have less options. So the key to the situation is have more options. That's how I feel about it. Have more options. That's my whole thought. You said, hey, cut it shorter. Hey, no. But yeah, have more options. That's my logic. Let me see here. What is purple, MJ? I don't know what the fuck purple you talking about. What purple are you talking about? Let me see here. Let me see. I'm reading the questions. If my man is financially struggling currently, and I don't make as much as him, what can I do? He tends to shift his energy with my complaining about the job I have. Please write this question and read it before. I can't do this shit. I'm trying to take my hair out. Girl, I can't. Girl is missing grammar. I don't know what the fuck you asked. Something about a man who ain't got no money, but you ain't got none either. And then the second, I don't get it. Rewrite that shit in here. Rewrite that in here and write it neater. Read it before you click send. How to address a guy who is breadcrumbing me. He said he wants to be serious, but doesn't show any action that reflects what he says. That's easy, girl. That's easy. One of two options. You can either just ghost him and stop responding to him. Like when he's breadcrumbing you, sending you messages. I would go with one of two options. When he's sending you messages like, hey, how you doing? Good morning. Or whatever his version of breadcrumbing is, because they do that shit, right? What I would do is I just wouldn't respond for like maybe a day. Not too long, but at least maybe a day. And then when you finally do respond, I would say, hey, handsome. Compliment him. Hey, handsome, I'm looking for something more serious. I look like a crackhead in a movie right now. I'm sorry. I feel like I could just play that role really well. I feel like look at my hair. Okay. Anyway, no, you'd be like, hey, handsome, I'm looking for something. I'm looking for something different than what this is offering me. So how would I put it? Hey, handsome, I'm looking for something different than what this is offering me. So I think it'd be best that we leave it here. Good luck with finding what you want. With a kiss. Always end it with good luck with finding what you want. Trust me, girl. Trust me, girl. It's going to work. Trust me. When a man is breadcrumbing you, it usually means that he's not taking you serious enough to make you a priority. Maybe because he's trying to see what he can get away with. People test boundaries. So just cut it off. And you do it like that. And then what's going to happen is one of two things. He's going to come right back. He's like, what do you mean? What do you? He's going to try to call you immediately or text you. Hey, what do you mean? I'm so sorry. I know I've been busy, blah, 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 blah. Whatever it may be. He'll go through all that. You don't respond unless he gives you action. If he says something like, I'm so sorry, you're right. I've been procrastinating. I've not been taking this as seriously. What can we do to make this move forward? Something that's like forward moving. He's taking responsibility. Then great. You can respond. And you can say, well, I'm happy to talk, I'm happy to hear you out and hear what do you think would be the best way to move forward. Don't propose anything. If he asks, what should I do? You don't tell him anything. It's, I'm happy to hear you out. Right? So that's one thing you can do. The other option is rather than waiting, just straight up send the same message. Just one day out the blue. Just like, hey, I hope you're doing well. I don't think that it's going to work for us to continue to date or whatever, however you want to call it. I'm looking for something different than what you can offer me. I would go there. One of the best ways to activate a man to action is to stomp on his fucking ego. I mean, stomp on that thing. You know what I mean? I'm looking for something different than what you can offer me. So good luck with finding what you need. Kissy. Never make it like he's a bad guy. Just leave it at that. Do that. Trust me, girl. They always respond back. Always. What you mean? Now, if you do that immature ass what you mean shit, don't respond. Don't say shit. Do not respond. You do not justify what you just said. You already said what you said. Right? If he responds back by taking responsibility, hey, my bad. I'm sorry, you're right. I have been dragging my feet, you're right. I have not been playing time, you're right, blah, 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 blah. You know, then you can say, then your response is, no problem, I completely understand. I completely understand. No problem, I completely understand. You just leave it at that, right? You're still not moving it forward. You're not responding really affirmatively until he makes a plan. Until he's like, hey, can we get together and talk more about this? You know, I think, you know, I see where you're coming from. How can we make this better? Blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? But otherwise, you don't respond. Now I'm regretting taking my hair out, but actually I'm not regretting it. Let me see here. How to support my man when he's financially struggling but makes way more money than me? How can I help him? The fuck are you asking this question for, girl? If you don't get the fuck out of here with that question, I just did laundry and I was literally about to grab my drawers and wipe off the screen because my camera's a little oily. I was literally about to grab a pair of panties and wipe off the screen. But I was like, you know what? We a little too comfortable with each other, but we ain't that damn comfortable. I have some laundry sitting right there. I almost grabbed some panties to wipe the screen off. Girl, they cleaned out. I was like, well, let me wipe this off. Oops. Shit. I go up myself, I was like, y'all wouldn't have known what it was, no way. Anyway, let me get to your question. Girl, you asked that stupid ass question because you wanted me to go off on you. Sometimes y'all be knowing the fucking answer, but y'all want me to go off on you. First of fucking all, he's financially struggling, but you ain't got shit. The fuck? Why you worried about helping his ass and not worried about helping your motherfucking self? I feel like the most unreliable man on earth to be in a relationship with is a man who's financially unreliable, a man who's financially struggling. Girl, you want to deal with the meanest man on earth? Get with a man who's struggling financially. They mean. They horrible. And then you stick beside him and you think he going to value you more and think of you as somebody who's holding it down? Girl, no. The minute he get back on his feet, he going to be disgusted with you. Because he's like, ugh, you stuck beside me through that? I'm serious. And don't help him get his money up. You never help a man get his money up, ever. Because he'll resent you. The more you help a man, the more he resents you. Girl, don't you ever fucking help no man. Only help you give him is cooking him a meal at the end of the day. If you fucking feel like it. You don't help him do shit. I don't care if you got connections that can help his business. Don't say shit. How you gonna know if he a real man who can do it himself if you don't let him fucking do it? How can you help him? Girl, how can you fucking help yourself? Help yourself. That's what the fuck I'm talking about. Help yourself. Girl, if my man was financially struggling, I'm doing what I got to do to make sure that I'm financially good. Because if his shit fall the fuck apart, how the fuck am I going to be taken care of? You sitting up here building his ass up, and if he leave you tomorrow, get hit by a bus tomorrow, fall off, and can't do shit tomorrow, then what? You done invested in some shit you can't even motherfucking control. That's like investing money in a business that you don't own. Girl, that's like renovating an apartment that you don't own. The fuck? You adding value to something that you won't benefit from. The fuck? Get the fuck out of here, girl. How can I help him? Girl, ladies, listen to me when I tell you this. Those words should never come out your mouth about a man. Never come out your mouth about a man. Because real men don't want your help. They want your mental support. Real men don't want your help. They want your mental support. Real men don't want your help. They want your mental support. And if you married to a man or something like that, only married, and he say, hey, baby, let's say he's starting a business, if you really believe in him and he come to you for help and you want to have help, then I think that's a whole different conversation. I think that's, hey, baby, how do we form a partnership? I like to buy into your business because I believe in it. Let's put together a partnership agreement. I still think that's dicey because you investing in shit because you just want to further him along rather than investing in it because it's a legitimate investment. My thought is this. Let's say you want to invest in your man's business or some shit like that. Don't invest a motherfucking penny until he can go out and get some other people's investments first. If a motherfucker who ain't sleeping with him can believe in him, then maybe I'd be tempted to believe in him. Cause your mind, your logic is a little dicey. It's a little thrown off, right? What if you live with him? The fuck leases end, and you can book a moving truck tomorrow. Living with somebody, what the fuck that got to do with anything? He's struggling financially, okay. And if you weren't there, how would he take care of his bills? He's struggling financially, okay. And if you weren't there, how would he be eating? Why are you doing for him what he should be doing for himself? How would he be eating? Girl, I'll be figuring out what I gotta do. I'll be signing up for MJ Harris's insurance class, right? In his insurance program, join the team so you can get some extra money. Learn how to get some extra money. You may not be all the interested in life insurance, but girl, you can make good money selling life insurance. I'll be stacking my coins and doing what I gotta do so that if he don't pick himself up, at least mama's good. She said homosexuals are so manipulative. You said homosexuals, then you put hobosexuals. Which is it, honey? Because I got to read in my spirit, and I'm more than happy to give it to you, honey. I'm more than happy to read you for filth. I'm more than happy to drag you, honey. What you want? What you want? Which is it, honey? Clarify or certify. Whichever it is, baby. Stand 10 toes down. Clarify or certify. Oh, you said hobosexuals. Okay. That's all I need to hear. Clarify or certify. Okay? All right? But yeah, you're right. They are manipulative. I say the most manipulative men out there is the men who ain't got shit. Only thing he got is what he can do for you in that bedroom. I think the most manipulative men is men who ain't got shit and then get with women who ain't got shit. Because they want to have some form of control over you. And so I've seen some men who ain't got nothing. They be trying to get control over y'all women with money. And by trying to control how you spend your money. You buy something without telling them about it. I thought, why don't we talk about these things first? Or let me know. Let me go down there and help you. You going to get that car. Let me go down there and help you. Motherfucker, you can't negotiate shit. You can barely negotiate your fucking future. How the fuck you going to negotiate this new Escalade for me? What you think, just because you a man, that somehow or another they going to deal with you better? Girl, get the fuck out of here and let me handle my shit. Y'all better stop letting these men sabotage you. Ain't got the education he was born with, and you sit up here letting him handle financial matters for you. You started a business saying our business. I hate when women do that. Y'all get all this education and resources to start y'all business. And y'all sit up here talking to these men, when you talk about the business that you own is yours. Our this, our that. The fuck? It ain't our shit. It's yours. It's yours. Ain't got to talk about a motherfucking thing. Ain't got to talk about shit. That's your shit. Fuck him. Our business. Girl, it's yours. You the one operated. You the one who put the money into it. You the one who's liable for it. You the one whose reputation's on the line. How about how about he go get his own shit? And then our shit is the house that we buy together. When you put up your 50% and he put up his 50%, if y'all want to buy some shit together, that's our shit. The shit that y'all put up equal resources or whatever proportional resources towards buying. That's our motherfucking shit. You said cut shorter. Who, my motherfucking hair? Get the fuck out my face. Hell no. Cut your hair off. Send me the picture you bald headed and I'll do the same fucking thing. The fuck? I ain't cutting my motherfucking crown unless y'all cut your motherfucking crown. And even then, I'm just gonna laugh at your ass and I still ain't doing that shit. The fuck? You got to get out your motherfucking mind to be coming to me telling me what to do with my goddamn head. The fuck? I look like a goddamn Barbie doll? I look like a Cabbage Patch doll to look the way you want me to look? I ain't one of your little gay friends off the street who think that your opinion matter about how the fuck I should look. Well, because Shalonda said I should cut my hair. Because you know they objectify us and treat us like we little fucking Barbie dolls. You should do this. You should do that. You should do that. Tell other bitches to do it. I'm not one of them. Oh, you talking about cut my hair? Oh, I'm sorry. I just went off on her. You know how Auntie get. Auntie be reading the sentence and then, Auntie go in one side and come out the other side real wrong. She was saying cut the braids so it would make it easier. But my motherfucking ass internalized that shit. That she was telling me to cut my hair off. And see, I misheard her. Okay? Auntie gets temperamental sometimes. And y'all know that about Auntie. Y'all sitting like, bitch, I'm not telling you to do that, Auntie. I'm trying to tell you how to get your head up faster. And Auntie busy cussing you out. You's like, just let the bitch finish. Because she going to cuss no matter what. Just let the bitch finish. And I'm like, and another motherfucking thing. I'm like, oh, you told me to cut my ends. Oh, I can do that. I can do that. Thank you, niece. Thank you, niece. Yeah, you right about that. You right about that. I done told the girl to be bald head. I said, cut your own motherfucking. I know, baby. The Lord is still working on me, but at least I admit it. The rest of you evil bitches don't admit shit. See how I made it about y'all? I took it off of me. That's a male trait. We turn it around. Even me as a gay man, I'm skillful at doing that. See how that's y'all own goddamn problem. You need to be focused. Like, how the fuck this bitch just turning around and make it our fault that this bitch can't hear? You know what I'm saying? The fuck? But at least I admit it. Yeah, I know. What's my next question? I think it's about time we change the subject, because, yeah, I'm about tired of being loud and wrong. I'll be loud and wrong in about 20 minutes, but at least for now, let's change the subject. Let me see here. How do you feel about the advice that Sheer 7 gives? How do you feel about asking older men for money after 1 to 2 dates? You talking about Sheer 7 sprinkle? First of all, let me tell you this right now, okay? And I've always stood by this. I said this when Kevin Samuels was out, may he rest in peace. I've said this about every time y'all ask me about folks. I've been doing this a long time, okay? And so I've seen many, many people, all right? My thought is this. I think that that not everyone's looking for the same type of relationship. And not everyone has the same needs in a relationship. So I think that the type of advice that she gives, and I enjoy her for this, I think they're very nice. But I think the type of advice she gives is for people who are looking for that type of relationship dynamic, right? Her advice is heavily, in my opinion, heavily geared towards women who, frankly, are clear that, and I could be getting her perspective wrong, but I feel like her perspective is that these men want what they want, and in some cases, they're going to try to manipulate you. So you need to keep the power in your hand and make sure you're getting what you want out of it. If you're going to give them what you want, you should get what you want. I think that her advice speaks to reciprocity. I really do think that. Now, some people say, oh, she's being manipulative. She's asking people for money, blah, blah, blah. I think that reciprocity shows itself in different ways. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I kind of do agree. In some ways, I feel like if you're going to lay up with some man who doesn't value you for who you actually are, who doesn't, and I'm not saying all men are this way, right? But if you're going to lay up with some of these men who clearly don't value you, don't have no respect for you, they treat you like you're disposable and everything like that, you've been played by these same type of men, you know what I'm saying? My thing is, girl, you should be getting some benefit out of that then. Whatever that should look like. I think that it's just, we have to face the reality that everybody's situation ain't no fairy tale, let me find my true match situation. That's just not what it is for everybody, And I'm not going to sit up here and shame her or anyone who thinks like her. Now, is her advice something that applies to my life? Well, no, I have a different set of circumstances. That may not necessarily be my experience, right? And that doesn't mean my experience is better than hers. It's just different. You know, but I think that she's speaking to women who that advice resonates with. And who am I to criticize that advice? You know, people who watch my advice may say, oh, I don't like some of his advice. But there are many of y'all who've told me, I love your advice. It's helped me with my marriage. It's helped me with my relationships. It's helped me with that. We all are different. We all have different voices. And I don't want to say we cater to different audiences, because some people who watch me also watch her and vice versa. I think that there are different aspects and facets of relationships. I speak to certain facets. She speaks to certain facets. And I think that for the facets that she speaks to, she speaks very well to them. Now, if that advice doesn't work for you, then don't follow it. You know what I'm saying? But don't throw the baby out with the bathwater either. And what you said, the second question, what do I think about her saying, telling y'all to ask men for money by the first or second date? Well, he don't mind asking you for some, you know what, by the first or second date. I'm not saying that that's a transaction, but I am just saying these men have no shame in asking you for whatever they want, whenever they want it. Half these men ask you for your time, your energy, and your body, and they barely knew you for 2 hours. And you scared to ask a man for some money if you need it. Now, you know my belief is go get your own money. But even if you got your own, hey, why not get some more? That's just my belief. You know? So it is what it is. You said, oh my God, I'm so glad I caught you live. How do I send you a message for advice? I know you don't like long comments. Put it in the questions box. Click the little questions thing. On your screen, there should be a little questions thing. Y'all tell her what to do. How to put her question in there. You know? But yeah. I be seeing women in her comments. Women, don't listen to her. I'm married and this advice doesn't work. Some of these married women, they ain't married, you a maid. You cooking, you cleaning, taking care of his kids that he had before you, that's fine. Taking care of his stuff, and you going to work every day. Some of y'all making more than a man, and you still keeping the house. I think more women would ask more from men financially and otherwise if they had enough self-esteem. I think the reason why a lot of y'all don't ask nothing from a man has nothing to do with it being a character thing. Like, I should not ask a man for money. I don't think it had nothing to do with that. I think A, you don't know how, and B, you don't have the self-esteem to recognize that you deserve to be treated well. You deserve to be cherished. You deserve gifts. The more you pour into a man, the more you deserve back. Now, does he deserve things? Absolutely. I certainly believe that. I think with the proportion that he's spending money on you or cherishing you or sowing into you should be the proportion in which you are taking care of him and loving up on him and meeting his needs as well. I think it's a direct exchange. I definitely believe that. It's not a one-way street. I think that's when it gets to be a problem. Let me see here. What do I think about married couples sleeping separately? I know a lot of couples who are like that, but they're older, generally. I think that's your business. If y'all pay for the house and y'all sleeping in it, who cares if y'all sleeping separately? Maybe y'all sleep separately because she snore like a bear. Maybe y'all sleep separately because he toss and turn at night and you don't. Maybe y'all sleep separately because you like the room hot and he like it cold. Maybe y'all sleep separately because you want to stay up at night until 4 o'clock in the morning watching true crime stuff on TV in bed, but he want to go to bed at 9 p.m. You know what I'm saying? Who cares? I don't see no problem with it. I definitely think that sleeping together can be a bonding experience, but there are plenty of couples who don't sleep together and they're very connected and united. You know what I mean? If it don't work for you, then you need to sleep in a room with your spouse. But I can't judge nobody else who does otherwise. You know? Let me see here. You said cuddling makes you live longer. So I know a couple where they sleep separately. And the way she put it to me was she said, he comes and visits with me every night. So they lay down together. They cuddle up and everything like that. I guess he comes in her room when she goes in this room. I don't know how that works. And they like hug up. They watch TV. They do what couples do. But when it's time to go to sleep, he just kind of moseys out to his room. You know what I mean? So they do get the connection, everything like that. But I don't know about you. When it's 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm knocked out. I don't want you cuddling with me or touching me. That's just me. You could, in theory, and I don't want to sleep in separate rooms, but you could, in theory, be in another room and I wouldn't notice it in the middle of the night. These men who want to hold you all night, that's a conversation I had to have. Like, baby, let me tell you something. I tell you after the first night, I said, baby, I really like laying with you. It was nice, wasn't it? Like, yeah, that was real nice. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing, baby. And you grab up on his arm, his big arms. Your arms are just so big and so heavy. I mean, I could barely sleep last night because it was all of that muscle on me all night. What you saying? What I'm saying, baby, is, you know what I like to see? I like to see you at my departure and my arrival. What does that mean? When I'm departing off to sleep, I want you to hold me. And you can go on to the other side of the bed. But at my arrival, when I wake up in the morning, you better be back. So basically, cuddle with me before bed and cuddle with me when we wake up. You know what I'm saying? That's all I need. That's all I need. That's all I need. You see where I'm going with that? That's all I need. Mm-hmm. These men want to hold you all night. Girl, you want to get me mad? You want to get me mad? Then don't let me sleep. Girl, don't do that. Don't do that. You're going to get on my nerves the right way. Uh-huh. Mm-mm. And I definitely ain't cuddling you. I ain't a big cuddler like that. I'm a little spoon. You trust me. I don't want to hold you all night either. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I want to sleep up in my little side of the bed. I don't be moving. I don't move a lot when I'm asleep. I just sleep on one side of the bed. I just want to do that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get too hot in my sleep, honey. Let me see here. I'm reading the rest of the questions. Nonchalant ex ruined the thought of his birthday. Years later, thought I was past. Girl, rewrite the question. I don't know what you asked me, and if I don't know what you asked me, I'm not going to try to interpret it. Rewrite it clearer. Assume I know nothing about it and rewrite it clearer. Marriage. How long should you stay in a relationship before you make him marry you? If you got to make him marry you, then he is not the man for you. Make him marry. How long should I stay until I tell him he got to marry me? Till I tell him he got to make me an honest woman. Huh? MJ, what you think about that? You thinking what, like 1 month, 2 months? A whole year? How am I going to tell him what size ring he got to buy me? Huh? No, honey. He got to marry me like yesterday. Like yesterday. You see how your question came across? Mm-hmm. I don't know why I can't get me a good masculine man. They say they say they're intimidated by me. Fuck, they got to be intimidated by. I'm an old woman here. Hear me roar. Well, Janine, I just gave the name Janine for right now. No shade to Janine. She's a very strong woman, honey. But that energy may be scaring him away, honey. His turtle may not come out the shell, if you know what I mean. You get me, Shug? Yeah. So let's talk through the whole marriage thing that you just put up here. Okay. Here's my thought. Used to have so much range. When I was a kid, I used to watch all those shows like Mad TV and all that stuff and Saturday Night Live. I was like, when I get old, I would love to do a sketch comedy show. That'd be fun, maybe one day. But what was I going to say to you? Oh, so marriage. I feel like that's a conversation y'all should have early in the relationship. Don't just wait it out. I feel like y'all give men way too much power and y'all don't speak what you want and what you need You know, I think that when you're dating, asking them like, hey, is marriage a priority for you? Is that something you want? Yes or no? Okay, yeah, for me it is. Well, okay, great. It is for you. Okay, so in a successful relationship, how long do you think it takes to be able to get to know each other before you can get to that point? If he says, oh, I don't know, you just gotta go with the flow, get the fuck out of here. Okay, that's a man that's gonna waste your time. How, you know, you'll know when you know. The fuck? That's like going to a job and asking them, hey, when do we get paid? I don't know, we'll figure it out. The fuck? I'm not here for the fucking pizza party every quarter. I'm here for the fucking money. You know what I mean? So when do we get it? You know? I feel like that's my thought. So with that said, I think that that's a question to ask. And that doesn't mean if he says, yeah, I think within a year or two, you know, getting engaged would make sense. That doesn't mean hold him like we're at 18 months. How's it looking for you? Just checking in. 18 months. You feel like we're on track or not? Should we do a development plan? Okay, do we need to write up a PIP for you? Okay, because there's some things that are off. You know what I mean? I think it's a conversation. Now, if he hasn't brought it up at all, and it's wild, I think it's worth having a conversation. Well, I don't want to scare him away. Well, I mean, if he doesn't get engaged to you at some point in time, then you're going to leave him anyway, so what's the fucking matter? Better to have an honest conversation than none at all. That's my logic. I think it's worth having a conversation. You know? Like, you said my grandparents married after 2 weeks of knowing each other. Your grandmother was nasty as hell. That's the first thought I thought. I said, your grandmother need to come teach a course to the girls, honey. Grandmama was doing, she was putting it down. Okay? Quit playing. When I hear that kind of shit, I be thinking, your grandmama was certainly not always on the church pew. Your grandmother always trying to act like she's on the church pew her whole life. I was me and Ernest. We wasn't doing all that. Y'all young girls, y'all like to wait. Ain't that right, baby? Ain't that right? Sure is right. That's easy. Sure is. Yeah, cause see, me and your granddaddy, we wasn't playing no games. What we do? We married. How long until we got engaged? He can't hear. Well, I guess about 1 month. I think about 1 month. Yeah, that's right. After 1 month, we was engaged. Married after 6 weeks. Grandma just told you she was afraid. She just told y'all that. And granddaddy wanted to lock it down. This ain't had nothing to do with church. This had everything to do with granddaddy want to lock it down. Okay? He says something this good should not be running the streets. This needs to be cooked to me. Yeah, my grandmama never had to work. My granddaddy was a good man. He never had to work. She never had to work. She stayed home. My grandmother never had a job after she married my granddaddy. They got married after 6 weeks, and she never worked a day in her life. Because grandmama was putting it down. How you think she got 12 kids? Y'all ain't willing to do what grandma was willing to do. The word no was never in Josephine's vocabulary. Was never in her vocabulary. Okay? Literally. The word no was never in there. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Let me see here. Let me see here. I'll read y'all's questions. How do you start comparing yourself to others and feeling inferior when you see someone that looks better than you? How do you know they look better than you? That is such a personal interpretation. They look better than you? How do you know they look better than you? In your mind, they look better than you. How do you know that everyone else thinks they look better than you? Right? It doesn't matter. I don't know. I'll share my own perspective, right? Which may or may not apply to you. But hopefully it can help you. I don't think I'm the prettiest person on earth. I think I'm attractive. I see people, I think, oh, that person is definitely very attractive. You know, they got a couple notches up on the scale of attractiveness than I got, you know, whatever. But, you know, call it arrogance, call it conceit, Call it whatever you want. Me personally, I don't judge my attractiveness solely based on how my body or my face looks. Or based on, do I think that everyone thinks I'm attractive? No, I judge my attractiveness based on a number of factors. I'm smart as hell. Right? I'm caring. When you get close to me, you love me. Right? You love the hell out of me. You know what I'm saying? I'm funny. I'm going to put it down. You're going to fall in love. Girl, I know how to handle my business. I ain't never had no complaints about that, baby. Okay? I'm still getting awards. Okay? So, okay. That little young thing over there got a six-pack. The fuck? I don't give a fuck about no goddamn six-pack. The fuck? I don't give a fuck about that shit. Because at the end of the day, did that six-pack start several of America's largest African-American-owned financial services companies? Does that six-pack have the capability to do things that I have the capability to do? I don't give a fuck about no six-pack. Give a fuck. Better get the fuck out of here. So anyway, my point to you is this. I just lost that braid I was just undoing. Oh, here it is. My thing is this. I think that at a certain point in time, you gotta accept who you are and do the best you can with what you are. Are you the sexiest person on earth? Well, I can't see your picture, but my guess is no, because none of us are. There's always somebody who's gonna look better, right? But why does it have to determine how you feel about yourself? We gotta get out that mindset that we can't like ourselves until we're this perfect picture of what we think we should be. Girl, you should be liking yourself every day, right? Like yourself regardless. Who gives a fuck? Just sometimes I walk down and she's like, oh, I wish I was skinnier. Or I wish I was this. I wish I was that. Well, shit, the fuck? As I ate my chicken parmesan, well, clearly my desire to be skinnier was overcome by my desire to eat that fucking chicken parmesan today, but it was delicious. I don't give a fuck. So I say the kind of man who's in my life, trust me, honey, he ain't worried about that. The fuck? And I would never date some. Obviously, that's why we see these couples like who, in the gay world, you know, they have all these different preferences that they express. No different than how y'all straight women do. Mask for mask, which means like masculine for masculine. Or fit for fit. To a very fit with each other. They say things like, I'm just attracted to a guy who takes care of himself. No. So in some cases, but what it often comes down to is I have a very, or some of these guys have a very superficial sense of self-worth about themselves, where they heavily value, or for that matter, devalue themselves based on very superficial things, abs, muscles, whatever it may be. And therefore, because they place that on a totem pole, it becomes a prerequisite for them to be able to ever date someone. If they don't look like this, then I can't be with them. I'm just unattracted to that. And what I think to myself is, that's got to be a really restricted, even think for women too, guys who are only attracted to women who look like models or whatever it may be, or vice versa, women who only attract to men who are like that. It's not just the gays. I was just using that as an example. But I think to myself, I would never want that. You know, my body goes in ups and downs. And by ups and downs, meaning when I'm not being lazy, right? Sometimes y'all see my pictures, I'm really, you know, and then sometimes it's like, I don't give a fuck. And I think to myself, I never ever wanted to be with a man who only valued me based on looking like I look in some of those pictures. Yeah, you're going to get that look every now and then. Because maybe I got a photo shoot coming up and I want to look like that for the photo shoot. So for the months leading up to the photo shoot and for the months after, you're going to get that look. But then there'll be times where I don't have any photo shoots coming up and I don't give a shit. You know? So I ain't going to look bad, but I ain't going to look like that. So I feel like if the only way that someone's going to love me is based on me portraying some idealized version of myself, nah, we can't work. Because who wants to live under that kind of insecurity? Now you're not going to the gym every day and doing whatever you got to do. For you, you're doing it to keep him interested in you. That's like walking an emotional tightrope. Who wants to be in that situation? I know for sure I fucking don't. You know? Right? Somebody wrote me the other day, right? I think it was the camera angle. You can obviously see I'm not a big person. I'm wearing a hoodie. You know, but someone wrote on the page, I don't remember where she wrote it. She said, you getting big or something like that, right? And I think I just blocked it. I really didn't give a shit. But I remember thinking to myself, I was just like, even if that were actually true, what would be the problem with that? Think about this for yourselves. Even if you were big, even if you were not the idealized picture of what you think you should look like or what you want to look like, why is that a problem? I'm 40 the fuck years old. Do you see my skin? Do you see my body? I look good as fuck for 40. You know? Could it be different? Sure. But do I want to do that shit? Most of the time, no. You know? I don't want to do all that shit half the time. You know? It's like, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with just being who you are? You know? I know it is rude when people do that. One of my friends, we were having dinner the other day. He's like, how do you deal with that? I was like, what do you mean? He's like, when people just openly criticize you and tell you how they think you should look, you know, or how they don't like how you look. I was like, listen, I've been on camera for all these years. You can't be on camera the way I'm on camera and not have a thick skin. I just block this shit. I really don't give a shit. You know? Maybe when I was younger, maybe it bothered me a little bit, but not particularly, really. I grew up as a gay, effeminate dude. Like, I was always being criticized by somebody. Or picked on or bullied. So it was fine. But it wasn't fine, but I learned to deal with it, I should say. But anyway, it didn't bother me. You know, the block button works. You know? And most of the people who criticize you are ugly anyway. You know? It is what it is. All right, let me see here. You said, I'm open to dating outside my race. However, it's hard to decipher if white men are just being nice or showing subtle signs of interest. I've heard white men aren't as aggressive as black men when flirting. I'm going to give you my perspective on that, okay? Because I've had to expand my perspective on that significantly. You know, I grew up between PG County, Maryland, and Tarrant County in Texas. In Maryland, I was around pretty much all black people. Pretty much, right? When I was a kid in Maryland, the only white people I saw was maybe my school teachers occasionally, but even then it wasn't very many of them. It wasn't that we were avoiding them, they were avoiding us. It just wasn't a lot of white people around me. And then during the time of my childhood when I was in Texas, I was in a predominantly black and Mexican neighborhood. Right? I had one white neighbor, Miss Gladys, lived across the street. I've talked to y'all about her. She's a wonderful woman. She's like my second grandmother or my third grandmother. And so for me, I grew up having all these, I shouldn't say grew up with this. I think once I got into my young adult years, I had all these preconceived notions in my mind around what white men think of us. Right? So, and I want to be broad, because when we talk about dating outside our race, often we just make it about white men. You know, well, white men this, white men that. There's a lot of races outside of just black and white. You see what I'm saying? Like, you know, there's a lot more. There's Indian, there's Middle Eastern, there's various, I mean, even to say Latin American, that's not really a specific race. I could be Latin American. You could be Latin, anybody can be Latin American. Latin American, in my opinion, and I could be wrong, so educate me if I am wrong, but my understanding is that Latin American is not a race. It's more like saying North American. Well, you can be Canadian, but even being Canadian doesn't mean you're black, white, blue, or purple. You know what I'm saying? So I could be wrong. I don't know, right? I could be wrong. I don't know. I'm not as educated on this subject. But being here in Brazil, where I come across many people who identify as Latin American, and some of them are white, some of them are black, some of them brown, whatever it may be. My point to you is this. I grew up with a lot of preconceived notions around what white people think of us. Oh, white men wouldn't want us anyway. They're not interested in us. They don't show us attention, blah, 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 blah. And you bring up a really good point. Which is that, generally speaking, different cultures flirt differently, right? The way that a black man who's from where I'm from would flirt, like when I'm trying to think, a black man who I would be around maybe in the South, how would a black man from the South flirt with you? He may joke with you a little bit. He gonna find a way to joke with you. He may even pick fun at you a little bit. He may compliment you when you're wearing that outfit there. He's going to do something like that to get a bit more vocal, right? Very expressive. It can feel a little bit more in your face in a good way, right? I have experienced personally that, yes, generally speaking, white men do probably flirt differently. Absolutely. I've experienced that Latin men definitely flirt differently. In my experience, let's go through at least what I perceived. I think that white men, in my experience, you have to also understand this. In the same way that we grew up with preconceived notions about what we think that they think about us, they also grew up with the same thing. So a white man seeing your beautiful black self walking down the street, he may be very attracted to you. But in his mind, he may have also grown up with the belief or with the notion that maybe he thought y'all don't like him. You know what I'm saying? You're not the only one who has these beliefs, right? So for him, sometimes these white men, it's not that they are subtle. It's that they don't want to be rejected. Just like black men don't want to be rejected. And so if they don't know that you're interested in them, then they're not going to put any energy out there. Definitely, absolutely not. Take white and black off the table. He's a human, right? Humans don't sign up for what they're not sure of, you know? And so from that perspective, if there is, for example, a white guy that you're interested in, or any race guy you're interested in, and you're attracted in him, look at him. Look him in the eyes. Show some level of interest. If he's attracted to you, he will activate. And trust me, a man is a man is a man. Black, white, blue, purple. A man is a man. He will activate and show you he's interested. Now, is he going to come across using the same cultural nuances and colloquialisms that a black man may use while flirting? No, he's from a different culture. But he will use his own, and it will be abundantly clear to you that that man wants you. You see what I'm saying? So that's my thought there. I do, however, think that if you are open to dating more broadly from a racial perspective, I think that that's a great thing. Give yourself more options. I just think that you need to be gentle with yourself and be gentle with them as well, other people, because you're just starting to do it. You had 30, 40 years, or how many years or decades of dating one group of men, and now you're opening yourself to date other groups of men. You don't understand them. You don't know all their cultural nuances. So if you go into it with preconceived notions of this how they are and this is what they think of us, it's going to really not be a good thing for you. I'll give you an example. I was walking down the street the other day. Wasn't looking for nobody. Walking down the street the other day, and I was going into an event. And I was in a mood. I'm going to be real with you. I was in a mood because before I went to this event, I was in line for something. And this woman behind the counter, I'm going to be real, she's a white woman. And she's a white woman behind the counter, and I was trying to get her attention so I could pay for something, right? And she was like, she kept on ignoring me. So I was like this. And it was a busy bar. It may not have been about ignoring me particularly. She may have just not been looking at me. It is what it is. Anyway, this other white woman comes up beside me and is waving her hand, like trying to get her attention too. The other woman was significantly more aggressive than I was. She was waving her hands over the counter. So the woman behind the counter looked at her to help her. I was there first. So I positioned my body in front of the other woman, like, hey, I was here first. So in my mind, I'm going to be honest with you, I jumped immediately to, in my mind, I didn't vocalize it. You know, I'm mature enough to process things and not vocalize it immediately, right? In my mind, I jumped to, she gave her attention first because she was white. And so I was still in that mindset when I left there to go to the next event. I'm being real with you, right? So I'm coming off the street going to this event. And then we had to get in line to go into this event, and there was this guy standing in front of me. I didn't even look up. I'm just staring down at my phone, scrolling on social media, annoyed at what had just happened, right? Anyway, I feel someone just staring hard at me. And as I'm glancing up to see who it is, I see this white guy, right? Very handsome, I will add. But I see this white guy standing there. So I'm glancing up, and I'm just looking like this. I was not looking friendly or nothing. And then he's looking, because I'm wondering, like, is he security? Is he trying to tell me I'm in the wrong spot in the line? I'm on the defense at this point in time. Like, why is this man staring at me? You know? I didn't say it, but that's what I was thinking. And then, so I'm looking at him like that, and he has the softest eyes. He just looks at me like this. And then in my mind, something said, dummy, he's looking at you because he's attracted to you. So I had to catch myself and soften up. right? My point to you is this. Sometimes because of our preconceived notions, we go into the world and we drown out and filter out who's attracted to us. We drown out and filter out who may be interested in us. And but beyond even drowning out and filtering it out, we give off energy that can be a repellent for other people interested in us, whether they black, white, blue, or purple. Right? I think that it is critically important that regardless of what your dating preferences are, whether you want to date black men, white men, it doesn't matter. Asian men, Latin men, it doesn't matter. Indian men, regardless of what your preferences are, I think that the first thing we need to do is take responsibility for the energy that we put out there. Because often we project, oh, black men come up to me more and black men flirt with me more and white men don't. Or black men flirt with me more but Latin men don't. Okay, but what if it's something different? What if you subconsciously believe that black men find you more attractive? Therefore, when you're in the presence of black men, you tend to have a lighter energy because you come into it expecting that they're going to find you attractive. And therefore, you have a more open energy, which subliminally sends to them the openness that they can hit on you. Versus when you're in a room with white men or Asian men or men who are not of your race, period, you may go in with the expectation that they're not going to be attracted to you, a little bit more closed. It was reconnecting. Your energy in that case could be a little bit more closed. I'm not denying that there is not prejudice. I'm not denying that there's not prejudice and that there are not white men out here who literally don't want nothing to do with you because of your skin color. I'm not denying that. But let's be real, it's clearly not all of them, right? And let's also, on the flip side, let's acknowledge that all black men don't want you either. Right? So my point is this. I think that we have to expand our mindsets beyond the lens of black men this and white men that. Let's take the man out of it for a second. Let's think about our energy. Are you fully holding yourself accountable when you go into spaces for the energy that you give off? Are you truly a magnet for attraction? When you're going into spaces with people, black, white, blue, or purple, are you maintaining the same level of energy and excellence that allows people to feel like you're open? Or are you going in with preconceived notions that they ain't gonna want me? Some of y'all do this even beyond race. Maybe it's because you're a bigger woman. You're in the space, these men ain't gonna want me because I'm big. Well, the energy that you're giving off may be shut off and closed off, and therefore a man who would be attracted to you believes you ain't attracted to nobody because you ain't giving off an open energy. This isn't just about race, you know? So, I just feel like this, do you, but be accountable for the energy that you give off to people. In this building I'm staying in right now, for example, right? This is a way I had to retrain my mind. I'm going to tell you a little exercise that I do literally around race. It helps me retrain my mind. In this building, there's people who work here. It's a high security kind of building where when you come in, someone's got to let you through the first set of doors. Then they verify you with the face scan, and then they let you through the second set, and then you walk by, and then you got to go through. It's layers here, right? It just is what it is. So there's always multiple people manning the doors. So this particular guy sometimes works in the evenings. Sometimes I've not been here that long, but he works in the evenings. And the first day I came in, that he was working in the evening, the rest of the people when they're working there, they hit the buttons to let you in, and they say good evening, bon dia, botage, whatever it may be, good morning, good evening. And you say, botashi, and they open the door for you, say, obrigado, thank you. He's always looking down, and when you come in, he just hits the button. I always say, bon dia, whatever. So I say, bon dia, bon dia. White guy, right? I was at first tempted to get annoyed. and go into the narrative of, let's be real. I'm probably one of the only black people in this building. Only one of black people in this, only one of a few black people in this particular area. How do I know? Because I've walked around. I don't really see any other black people. Thinking, he just acting like that. Because that's an easy narrative to go into, right? That's a very easy narrative to go into. Instead, you know what my narrative was? I chose not to have a narrative. Instead, what I did was I decided one day, actually, because he wasn't looking, so I was like, I won't look nosy. Look over the counter and see what he's looking at. He had his phone under the counter like this, right? So he's trying to discreetly watch something on his phone. He was watching a football game, soccer. He was watching a soccer game. And I looked at him, and I realized he reminds me of a very special man in my life who I will not admit deny or admit that he exists, who loves football. And when football is on, I don't exist. The world doesn't exist. Okay? I would have to be literally in the hospital for him to not watch that football game. Okay? And even then, he might ask, can I come after the game? You know what I mean? So I said, oh, he's watching the game. And then I thought something further, and I was like, he's probably an introvert. Because people who generally are extroverts, even if they're watching the game, hey, how you doing? Yeah, you watching the game? Who do you want to win? They'll say something. I was like, so he's probably an introvert. He's working a desk job that he doesn't have to talk to people much in. And his job is literally hitting buttons all day to let hundreds of people in and out all day, every day, which is probably monotonous. And he just wants to watch the fucking game. So him not looking up at me and staring at the screen probably is the way he tolerates working around all these people, is he finds something else to focus on rather than focus on saying, botaji, botaji, botaji. That probably gets tiring after a while. My point is, rather than jumping to conclusions and assumptions around what his rudeness, and I don't even think he was really being that rude, but what that meant to me, because let me throw this other piece in. The people working the desk early in the day are black women. And they're very much so, you know what I mean? Good morning, good afternoon. Because he wasn't acting like them, I said, your thought would be to jump to, he treating like this because I'm black. Well, maybe he just is a human being who likes watching football games in the evening. Maybe he bet money on the game. I doubt seriously, his disposition did not seem like he's that warm to anybody. So I'm sure he's just like that with all the other white folks who come through here, right? My point to you is this. I think sometimes it's very important that we reframe in our mind how we assume other people think about us just based on their behavior, because we don't know what they think. So rather than jumping to the worst thing of, oh, I was at the store, women. You were at a store looking at this white guy who you thought was cute. He was looking at you, but he never came over and said hi. That must mean that he don't feel comfortable talking to black women. Could be that. Could be that he got a girlfriend. Could be he got a wife. Could be that he's insecure and nervous because maybe just like he the first white man you considered talking to, maybe you the first black woman he considered talking to, and he don't know what to say or do. You think you the only one who new to this? Girl, Connor don't know what he doing neither. Somehow or another, we think that everybody else got these superpowers of security and that they don't get insecure either. What universe are you in? I think that if you gave people more grace and accepted them as human beings who are insecure and nervous and have their own stuff going on, and on top of that, when you add the race layer into it, it makes it complicated for them too. Because I had someone tell me this recently. I was talking to this guy, white guy, I'm sorry. And he was very open with me. He's a straight guy though. And I was just saying to him, because I think his whole thing was he had traditionally been with white women, but he says he was open to dating interracially, right? Okay, cool. And so I asked him, I was like, well, what's your hesitation to do it. He's like, I don't feel like I could compete. I said, what do you mean? You don't think you could compete? I didn't know exactly what he meant in terms of context. Like, do you feel like you're not attractive enough? Like, what do you mean you don't think you have a good enough job? Like, what do you mean when you say you can't compete for these women, right? He's talking about black women in this particular case, right? And he said, I don't think I can compete. And I was like, well, what do you mean you don't think you can compete? He was like, no homo. I remember saying, no homo. He said, but, black men are really attractive. He's not gay. He's just talking, right? I think black men are really attractive. So I feel like, am I attractive enough for a black woman to choose me over a black man? A very limited frame of thinking. Because on one hand, that's flattering. But on the other hand, I had to tell him, that's kind of limited. Right? It's limited because when a white woman is choosing you, she's not comparing you against every other white man that exists. She's just thinking about her attraction to you as an individual. So a black woman would think the same way. I understand where the thought pattern would come from. I get where the thought pattern would come from. I was like, but I don't think that's how most people operate. You're not competing against every black man out there. There are some black men who are super attractive, who some may think are more attractive than you. There are some black men who are not super attractive, who you are going to be way hotter than. It's a spectrum, But attraction is not built on the spectrum. Attraction is built on how one human being feels about the other one. You know what I mean? You said, I'm 26, been following you for years, since 2017. You're truly inspiring. Thank you, baby. Thank you, baby. So my point in this topic, I'm going to my next question. My point in this topic is this. I'm not trying to encourage you all to date any one group or not date any one group. I'm just trying to encourage you to open your mind and let go of your preconceived notions about these topics. Deal with human beings on an individual level, but more important than that, deal with your insecurities that make you hold on to these preconceived notions. Because sometimes the thing that's making us hold on to these things is not reality. It's just our own insecurities. You know what I'm saying? That's just my thought. He doesn't want to be in a relationship, but doesn't want you talking to other men. Is it good to wait till he's ready if you like him? First of all, how he know if you're talking to other men or not? I'm just going to say this real fast before I go to this question. Angela said, our perception is but our own reflection. Yeah, your perception of the world is a direct reflection of how you think. It's not a reflection of the actual world. I love that. But to the question that this woman asked about this, you don't ever wait on no man. And how does he know you talking to other men? Don't tell him nothing. He's not entitled to that information at all. You talking to other men? Are you committing to me? Shoot it back at him. Are you talking to other men? He asked. You said because he asked you. I'm telling you how to answer. You talking to other men? Are you committing to me? Nah, I feel like what we got. We got something. We got our own thing right now. Stop trying to do that. Like, you want to talk to other men or not. Blah, 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 blah. Baby, this is a conversation I'm not going to have. Here's the thing. You're not ready for a relationship. But you want to have access to information about me. So here's my thought, baby. Okay? We're probably not a good fit for each other at this point in time. I feel that way at least. And so I'm just going to wish you luck on finding whatever it is that you want in whatever form that works for you. Okay, handsome? I'm the queen of the cutoff. Cut him off. Cut him off when he does that. You're like, but I like him. Girl, trust me. If you cut that man off and let him know you're willing to walk, if he really does want a relationship, he will build one immediately. No. I just been. It's not an ultimatum. I think ultimatums are powerless. Give me a relationship or I'm going to leave you. Girl, you powerless, girl, because you ain't left. You don't ever give a man an ultimatum. You just leave. Baby. It's been, hey, handsome, I think you're absolutely incredible, but we clearly just want two different things at this point in time. So I wish you the best in finding what you desire. Good luck. Send it just like that. Just like that. Just like that. Girl, just like that. Do your own remix. Girl, let me tell you this. A man, honey, one thing they don't do well with is that kind of shit. They going to respond. What you mean? Especially if you're the type that don't want you dating other men. Girl, please. And then, after you do that, post yourself at dinner. Go out and do stuff and post it. Not immediately, but post it. Live your best damn life. And when he texts you, what do you mean? We need to talk. Don't text back immediately. In fact, wait a day. Your silence is doing the work for you. He texts you, what you mean? So blah, 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 blah. Wait a day or two. Then you get back to him. Hey, things have been busy, not apology. Things have been busy. I hope you're doing well. Busy what? You out with other guys? Don't respond. You don't respond to shit. You only respond to the conversations that that support what you want. You don't respond to anything. You only respond to the conversations. If he wants to talk about how to build a commitment and a path forward, then those are the conversations you respond to. After you set your boundary, you no longer respond to any forms of communication or conversation that is not directly about giving you what it is you want. That is critically important. Because you lose your power when you want to argue with him and go back and forth. Or explain yourself. You do not explain yourself to a man after you set your boundary. You do not explain yourself to a man after you set your boundary. Absolutely not. Because some men interpret your explanation or you're arguing with them, not some, pretty much all, interpret that as you're still invested. And your power comes from you being willing to walk away. So how are you going to have the power to walk away if you're still invested in arguing and explaining? She said, make sure your read receipts are on. She ain't wrong. She ain't wrong. You know what I mean? But you said you'll try it good, baby. But you're going to have to regulate yourself. You're going to have to regulate yourself enough not to be jumping in and responding every 5 minutes and feeling compelled to do that. You are under no obligation to respond. Why did I leave South Africa? I did a whole video about it. It's on this page. It's on my YouTube page. Actually, it's on my YouTube page. Go watch it there. I'm not explaining all that. I did a whole video on it. I know you don't know about it, but it's on there. Click the link on my Instagram page. It's the link directly in the bio. You'll see the video right there. It's the link on my Instagram page. It's a longer video, so that's why it's over there. It's also on my Facebook, too. Show us how to flirt with men. You got to give me a scenario, baby. There's a million ways to flirt with men. Tell me your situation, and I can maybe work with you around that. Let's see here. Okay, you said my nonchalant ex messed up the thought of his birthday last year. Fast forward, his birthday is tomorrow, and I'm wondering whether to tell him happy birthday or let him earn that back next year. He's your ex. Why are you concerning yourself with him at all? He's your ex. The fuck? Y'all love to stay emotionally connected to somebody who ain't connected to you. He messed up his birthday last year, and this year I'm trying to decide, should I tell my ex happy birthday this year? Girl, who gives a fuck about your ex? And if he dares text you tomorrow talking about something, you ain't hit me up on my birthday, I would ignore his ass. You said a guy from work, he flirts with me all the time but has not invited me out. Could be other reasons why, like because you work together. I'm not a big believer in workplace romance. That's just my belief. You know, if your job allows it, then that's your job, but you still got to think about your own comfort. I don't want to date my neighbors, and I don't want to date my coworkers. That's just my thought. You know? Just because I just feel like, What if it don't go well? You still got to see each other at work every day. You know? I don't like that. That's just me. So, how to flirt with them? Definitely don't flirt with him at all now. That's my opinion. And he flirt with you, then you deal with that however you choose to deal with that. But I just don't think it's a good idea. My opinion. But on the ex subject, girl, fuck him. This is a lot of hair. God damn. I forgot how much he put in the back of my head. You ain't say happy birthday to me? Ignore him. Learn how to ignore men. When I was younger, I used to struggle with ignoring men sometimes. I used to think, oh my God, if I ignore him, he's going to be upset. He's going to be hurt. He's going to think I don't like him and he's going to stop reaching out to me. That's not how it works, sugar. Men want you more when you ignore them. And don't just ignore them for the sake of ignoring them. Ignore them when they're not talking about stuff you want to talk about. You're not going to good morning text me to death. I'm ignoring that shit. The fuck? And if you hit me up on some bullshit like, hey, stranger, you don't respond to my text messages. Hey, love, I'm really busy some days and I just get so caught up. But for me, I don't know. I feel chemistry a lot more in person rather than through text message. So let me know when you want to connect. Let me know when you want to go out. Kisses. Have a wonderful week. Not have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful week. I just gave you an instruction. I gave you a boundary. I really prefer to connect in person. I gave you an instruction. Let me know when you want to get together. Let me know when you want to plan something for us. And I gave closure. Have a wonderful week. Kiss. That's what they need. Boundary, instruction, closure. That's what they need. And then don't respond to shit until he does it. Why the fuck would you respond? You told him what he needs to do. You told him how to access you. You said, I get cussed out if I don't answer, but I just be working or in my bed. Cussed out by who? If a man wants to cuss you off and not answering, this is my opinion. What's wrong with just blocking him? What's wrong with just blocking him? How would a woman in her 50s go about flirting with a man? That's easy, baby. You do it just the way the young bras do. But you know, the thing is, I find that older women have a lot more confidence and the ability to navigate flirting better than these young girls can. Let me tell you how you got to do it. Compliments connect with men. Compliment him. Compliment him. Compliment him. Cater to his ego. Cater to his ego. Cater to his ego. Have you noticed that the only people who got an issue with that stuff is these young girls? I don't want to have to cater to a guy's ego, blah, 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 blah. But meanwhile, older women, whether they've been married to a man or a long time or not, they understand this. So let me talk to you, all right? Because I think you have the maturity to take in what I'm teaching you, right? Compliment him. Compliment him. I don't know. Let's say he's a man at your church. I don't know. Compliment him. He wearing something that you like. Honey, you got laid on thick too. You see him? Deacon Washington. He come over you. Who be dressing you? What you mean, who be dressing me? I know you got to have some woman dressing you. Because you just look too good. Who be dressing you? What you think he gonna do? I picked this out myself. I picked this out myself. Well, you did good. As you walking away. And you smell good too. That's gonna invite that man to flirt with you. He gonna be looking at you the whole church service. Looking over at you. I'm serious, girl. I'm serious. If you flirt the right way, you will invite a man to come over to you and approach you. Y'all be talking about men don't approach me because you don't flirt. Learn to flirt. Compliment a man. Make up some shit to compliment him about. He may smell like Dove soap. Who smell good in here? He the only one right there. Is that you? What you wearing? You always be smelling good. Always say something like you always whatever. You got to make him feel like you've been noticing him for a while. That make people feel so good. Imagine somebody told you that. Like, damn, you've been noticing me? That boosts your ego so good. You always be smelling good. Mm-hmm. And you be wearing those outfits too. Oh, I notice. You be noticing? I notice. Mm-hmm. But you have a good day. Mm-hmm. And keep on smelling good. I like it. Compliment him, honey. Compliment him, honey. You said, why I gotta be a deacon for the over 50s? Because it was a more dramatic story for me to give, honey. I have to do character development. You want me to do character development on the spot? I have to choose a narrative that works within the context of the message I need to deliver. The fuck? I wasn't gonna do a narrative of y'all at the nightclub. The fuck? No. I'm an artist, honey. I work with the information given to me. But men love compliments. I'm serious. They love compliments. Old men, young men, broke men, rich men love compliments. That's the easiest way to flirt with a man. Compliment him. In a sincere, flirtatious way that makes him feel noticed. I have seen some beautiful men who are amazing catches choose some women who I think, to be quite honest with you, are completely mediocre. You're like, how did she get him over that quote-unquote pretty girl over there? Because the pretty girl is too entitled and or too insecure to flirt with him. She's waiting on him to come to her and do all the work. Meanwhile, the other girl understands, let me go boost his ego. That doesn't mean she's doing all the work, but let me boost his ego. Because men gravitate towards the women and men who make them feel good, not just the ones who look good. You need to say it again? Men gravitate towards the women and men who make them feel good, not just the ones who look good. Learn how to make men feel good. It's the easiest thing on earth. Compliment him in a sincere way. You can do that at 25, you can do that at 55. It doesn't matter. Let me see here. That's all they want. And I'm going to take it a step further. That works especially well with a man who you know doesn't get complimented very, very much. That works very well with him. Don't compliment him for the obvious shit. You got to compliment him on shit that really matters to him. Like, that's why I said, like, the outfit. You know, if he puts a lot of care into his outfit, compliment him on that. Or, like, I don't know, let's say he has a car that he puts a lot of energy into. You know, like, some guys, they like, you can tell they put a lot of energy into their car, maintaining it, whatever it may be. Ask him one day, what kind of, what you call those rims? What kind of wheels you got on your car? Like, what you talking about? I saw your car. I always see your car. And I always think to myself, it looks so good. You keep that car together so nice. But I was so curious, what do you call that? Because those look so nice. That's one thing about you. That's another way to flirt. When you say, that's one thing about you, he gonna be like, what? That is one thing about you. You gonna always make sure you keep it together. I swear, I always see that with you. From your outfit to your car, you just, I always think that. Anyway. Worst case scenario, he's not interested, but he loves the compliment. Nice moment. A man doesn't reject you when you just compliment him. But I think that's a good way to gauge if he's interested in you. When you compliment him, see how he responds. You can tell if a man's interested in you. And if he's not interested, okay, he doesn't respond in a way like he's attracted to you. Okay, cool. All you did was gave him a compliment. Versus, hey. You know what I'm saying? That awkward flirting. Then if he don't really feel you like that, then you feeling rejected. Girl, no. Compliment him. Compliment him. He gonna love it. He gonna eat it up. He gonna eat it up. Oh, I love that one. I love what you just said, Aaliyah. You said, and make eye contact. That is a good one. That is critically important. That is something that I do. I love eye contact. But don't do it in an awkward, weird way. You gotta do it in a way that, you know, is nice. But when you give eye contact, make sure your eyes aren't open too big. You look at them. And I want you to practice if you struggle with eye contact, because I know sometimes, I've noticed in society, a lot of people struggle with eye contact. It's just not something that we generally do all the time, just staring people in the eyes, right? But I want you to practice making eye contact or even lightly flirting and complimenting with people who you know you're not that interested in low-stakes situations. For example, you're getting your lunch at a restaurant. The guy who's ringing you up, you may not be interested in him at all. But when you're ordering your food, look him in the eyes. Can I have this taco bowl? He'll be like, the taco bowl? Mm-hmm. He like, what kind? The whole wheat one. Is that what you call it? It's called whole wheat. I want that one, the brown one. Okay, well, what protein would you like? Which one would you recommend that I get? They're all good. No, but which one do you like most? I guess I like the barbacoa. Okay, give me that. Be heavy-handed, okay? Oh my goodness. Who's wearing that? What cologne are you wearing? You smell great. I can smell it over the food. It's low stakes, honey. It's low stakes. Worst case scenario, you just gave that man a big personality, a big self-esteem boost. Okay? Worst case. You have nothing to fucking lose. And I guarantee you, every time you come back to that restaurant, you're going to get free shit or extra shit. Trust me. Story of my life. Okay? Be nice to men and women. You know, I told you I would even do with women. I really don't flirt, but my whole thing is like, I'm gay, obviously. But with women, like, sometimes if I'm at like a grocery store or something and the woman in there ain't smiling, I'll look at her. What's your name? Or if I see your name tag, how do I pronounce your name? Oh, my name is Latanya. Latanya, I come in here all the time and I always notice you. Tell me something. Why you never smile when I see you? I can see you have beautiful teeth, so I know you have a beautiful smile. I just be working. I don't even be focused on that. She could have 2 teeth. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, smile more. I love your smile. It'll be plastic. Practice. I'm serious. Practice flirting in low-stakes situations. Practice eye contact in low-stakes situations. Because y'all be wondering, I don't know how to do it when I need to do it. It's because you don't practice it. You're not skilled at doing it. So when you do meet a man you like, then you feel like a fish out of water. Practice. I'm serious. Practice. Now, one place you don't do this at your job. This is not the place to practice it at. Okay? Don't practice it at work. But outside of it, practice that shit. It's low stakes. And my thing is, if anything else, you're making people feel good. Do you understand how that brightens someone's day to be noticed and acknowledged? That's what you're doing, just to notice and acknowledge people. That's all good flirting is. Good flirting is just noticing and acknowledging someone. That's all you're doing. You know? You know what I mean? You just making them feel good. And they love that shit. They eat it up. I'm telling you right now, they eat it up. Oh, I love doing that shit. And eye contact goes a long way. As they talk, it's so powerful. Sometimes they be looking away, and no matter how much they look away, you keep looking at them. I do not look. Look at how I'm looking flirting right now. I got 3 hairstyles going right now. This, and this, and I'm sitting flirting. And I would still do it in the street. The other day when I was getting my hair done, we stopped halfway into it so I could go get something to eat. And so my hair was just half done. It looked almost like this. And I go into a little restaurant. I needed a table or something. I was trying to figure out what to order. It was one of these restaurants so you can order at the counter or get a table and order in there. So I go in there. My hair looked crazy as hell. I looked just like this. And I go in there and I was like, the guy was sitting at the door, like waiting at the door. And like, not security, but like he's one of those people, make sure you don't walk out without paying for nothing, right? So I walk right up to him. And I walked, like, not real close, but close enough to him. Taller, older guy, older than me. So I looked up at him. I was like, excuse me, do I order here or over here? Because I'm not sure where to order. He's like, the line is kind of long right there. You may want to go here. Okay, and what do you recommend that I order here? The blah 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 is good. Thank you so much. You saying go here? Yeah, go there. Yeah. He lit right up. He felt real good. He could be straight as an arrow. I don't care. I don't want him. You know what I'm saying? You're just being nice. What about when you're driving and you feel them looking at you? I'm nervous about that. I haven't driven a car in so long, actually. But I'm not nervous about driving. I'm nervous about the whole car situation. Anything in a car is kind of a little bit challenging, to me at least. Because I feel like in a car, you just never know. Like, is he staring at you because he want to follow you? I don't know about that. I feel like, I don't know. If he's staring at you for real, and he wants to put an initiative, and you pull into a parking lot at a store nearby, pull in a parking lot that's very, 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 very populated. If he like tells you, oh, look, come over here. I just feel you got to be careful with that. Do not pull off. You need to go someplace that's very populated. You know, that's just my thought. But in the car staring, it doesn't matter. You can stare back a little bit. I don't know why I get nervous about cars. I remember one time I was driving on the 101 in LA. Like driving towards Thousand Oaks. And I was crossing, where was I coming from? I don't forget where I was at, like what specific area. And there was this dude in a Mercedes. And when I was driving, this is why I'm so paranoid about this. I could feel him riding beside me, looking over at me. And by this time I was somewhat known, you know, I was pretty known. And so I was like, well, maybe he's like a viewer. Because I've had that happen with viewers around the time. And they're like, you know, which I just focus on the road because I don't want anything dangerous. Like in terms of like getting distracted by me waving back or vice versa. So I could feel him look. Then we got a little bit of traffic and he's sitting right beside me. And he's looking at me. So I turned, excuse me. I just kind of politely smiled at him. Like, and then the traffic sped up so I could speed up. I don't know if he felt rejected or what, but maybe 10, 15 minutes later, I see him riding his car beside me, trying to get my attention. And by this point, I could see him screaming through the window, but my window was up, so I couldn't really hear him. Blah. He was going crazy. Dude was psychotic, I swear to you. So I did something I would not recommend that you do. I slammed my foot on the brakes. There was no one behind me. So that he just had to keep going fast. Because he was already speeding up. So I slammed my foot on the brakes so that I slowed down behind him. And I immediately turned to the right and just got off the highway immediately. So he was stuck on the highway and I got off immediately. It was a little while before the next exit. So there was no way for him to get off and come all back around and find me. And I just went through the canyons to get where I need to go. You know, so I don't know. Maybe I'm just traumatized by car experiences. But yeah, I don't know. No. Let me see here. You said, are men straight or do they want every human? No one wants every human. Even bisexual men don't want every human. They want the humans that they are attracted to. You know? No. How do you conquer social awkwardness when you want to talk to a guy? I always come across as awkward. You're awkward because you don't have a lot of practice. And you probably feel more awkward than you actually come across. In reality, if you actually just tried and did it, I think sometimes we think that we're more awkward than we really are. Oh my God, I'm so awkward. Okay, well maybe you don't have the finesse that you think you should have. But that's just because you're unpracticed. That's why I say flirt in low-stakes situations more. You know what I'm saying? Flirt in low-stakes situations. That way, if you're in a low-stakes situation, it's like flirting with somebody in a restaurant, flirting wherever, it's not a big deal. And you get more experience with it. It's so important that you learn how to flirt. That way, when you need to do it because you really want to do it, then you've already done it. You say you're not the first. I've been followed before too. It has the worst feeling. If somebody's following, I'm really cautious about anything with the car. You said, now why are you taking your hair out? Just got it done because I'm not in love with this style. It's been barely a week, I know. I don't like these beads. I'm not in love with this style. I loved it when I got it, but I don't love it anymore. That's how I am. I really am like that. I just don't keep my hair in very long. I don't. I'm literally like this. I know. Let me see here. Ooh. You said my work partner and I have been seeing each other for the past few days, and I'm worried if things don't work out. And I'm worried if things don't work out between us. He's a great provider and makes pretty good money. You and the person you work with are seeing each other. And you're worried about if it doesn't work out. It's only been a few days. Girl. I don't think it's a good idea. You do whatever's best for you. I don't personally think it's a good idea. I just don't. It'd be different if you're leaving the job. You know what I mean? You're going to another job. Then, okay, maybe. I don't know. Because, you're leaving there. But I just don't think it's a good idea. I just don't. Girl, this is so much hair. Oh, my God. I'm gonna get the big dookie braids next time. This is too much hair. I can't see. Okay. Ugh. Exactly. Don't date your honey where you make your money. I like that. I just don't like it. Like people tell me, oh, I got with my neighbor, my building. I'm like, you got a much better sense. I mean, you handle things better than I can. Because I'm like, that's so awkward. You gotta see them on the elevator. I'm not judging. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying for me, because we're all different, right? For me, I couldn't do that. That's too close for comfort. Like, I barely want to know who my neighbors are, period. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. I would not. But, you do you. Oh, my God. Oh. I don't know how to take this down. What's the next fucking question? Why do men who are married sleep with gay men? Because they're bisexual? Or they're gay and in a relationship with a woman and men are their sexual outlet? Why do dogs bark? Because they're a dog. Why do men have intimacy with men? Because they're gay or bi. I'm not saying it's right to cheat. That's one thing I'll never say is right. But my point is this. I feel like this. If I was a woman and I found out that my man was cheating on me with a man, or with anybody for that matter, but let's start with the man. My concern would be, I'm being honest with you, would be, hey baby, are you bisexual? That's not a concern, but that'd be my question, I should say. If he can't admit it, I'd be more concerned. No, I'm not. You know that's not happening. Those text messages you found, the fact you found Grindr on my phone, that's not it. I was just looking on there for blah, blah, blah. That's how you know you're up shit's creek, when he can't even own who he is, right? You don't want to be involved with that. But let's say he does own it. Yes, I did, but I was just experimenting. I was drunk, blah, blah, blah happened. My greater concern is less about him cheating and more about the fact, well, I should say, let me put it like this. My greater concern is that wherever he is within his maturity and developmental process is at a point where he's not able to be faithful. Doesn't matter if he's sleeping with a man or a woman, he's not able to be faithful. I think that cheating is often a reflection of immaturity. Even if it's the immaturity of, I want to be with multiple people, but I'm not mature enough to articulate that enough to find myself into a relationship that's an open relationship, so I can do that. I still think it's a lack of maturity. And so from that perspective, I would end it. I don't think it's about ending a relationship with someone just because they're a cheater. Rather, it's with a man or a woman. I think it's a matter of, you can't have a healthy relationship with someone who is not honest with you about intimacy. You know what I mean? That's just me. You know? So you say, everybody's going to cheat. Blah, blah. You can't just leave somebody because they cheat on you. Actually, you can and you should, in my opinion. My personal opinion. Now, there are some circumstances where I'd be like, okay, maybe you could not look past, but maybe y'all could work through it. A lot of y'all in these relationships, and by you, I'm just talking in general, people in these relationships where you're with this person for years or however long, there's a lot of dysfunction happening, issues, stress, and there's no intimacy happening at all in the relationship. That door is shut down, right? So let's say that door is shut down. Y'all are not intimate, y'all aren't touching each other, you're emotionally disconnected. Do I think it's okay for someone to cheat in that circumstance? No. But I see how it could happen. Humans have needs for connection. I think that people are very vulnerable to making certain choices if there's no intimacy at home, they feel emotionally disconnected, and so on and so forth. I'm not justifying it, but I do think that that is not an unknown possibility. I'm sure we're all mature enough to acknowledge that. You know what I mean? I think that's why it's so critically important in your relationship that if you see that intimacy is lacking or slowing down significantly, or for that matter, it's not happening at all, I think it is critically important that you address that. And by address it, not in an accusatory way, why won't you touch me, who you with? I think marriage counseling or relationship counseling is really important so y'all can unpack what's going on. So I think that intimacy, when I say intimacy, I'm talking about the bedroom. Y'all know what I'm talking about? I think that that's a barometer or direct indicator of other issues in the relationship. And it's on both ends. If y'all are doing it excessively, sometimes that's an issue, covering up some stuff, something's going on. But it's definitely an issue if y'all aren't doing it at all. You know? Or one person just is really not getting their needs met. Talk. You need to talk to a therapist. Why do men use your trauma against you in an argument? Same reason why some women do. All men don't do that, just like all women don't. Unhealthy people do that. Right? People with poor conflict resolution skills do that. You know? Be careful not to globalize people. Why do men do this? Why do women do this? Well, all of them don't do that. But if you carry that mindset, then it's going to be very hard for you to connect with people because you're going in with preconceived notions that all men do this. All men cheat. All women manipulate. All this, all that. That may not be the case, sweetheart. Maybe it's a reflection of the ones you're choosing. And I'm not judging you. I'm just saying we got to be careful about that. You know? Girl. Okay. You said once men go to men, it's over. Meaning once they cheat on you with a man, the relationship's over? If he cheated on you with a woman, is it not over then also? I'm just curious. Because your statement is very much so about men. Once a man cheats with a man, it's over. Okay. You have a right not to want to be with someone who's bisexual. Okay. Fine, I'm not disputing that. What about when she's with a woman? Are you forgiving that one? It's over if he cheats with a man, but if he cheats with a woman, then maybe I'll let him come back. He's still cheating on you. He's still getting from somebody else what he not seeking from you at home. He's still seeking comfort in someone else's arms. He's still building emotional intimacy with someone else. You think they laid up together? No, they having pillow talk. May even be hanging out. Could be taking off days at work when you think he at work. Hanging out with them. So my question is it different with a man versus a woman? You said, I'll stay if he cheats with a woman. Yeah. And this is an example of why you all get railroaded by men. Because you prioritize and stigmatize things while letting other things off the hook. If he cheats with the woman, he can stay. If he cheats with the man, he's got to go. How about you just don't deserve to get cheated on at all? So you leave any man who cheats on you. So it's okay to be emotionally abused. I think cheating is a form of emotional abuse. It's okay to be emotionally abused as long as he's doing it with a woman. That doesn't sound stupid as fuck. I'm sorry. I know I should say it gentler. That doesn't sound a bit fucking off. You say you're not attracted to bisexual men. No one's encouraging you to be. But somehow or another, you are attracted to, or at least open to staying with a cheater. As long as he's doing it with a woman. The fuck? So it's okay for a man to disrespect you as long as it's with a woman. Girl, I'm not trying to advise you to be with a bisexual man. Be with whoever you want to be with. Or don't be with who you don't want to be with. But your standards should probably go across the board. That's just my thought. You know what I mean? Hey, that's just me. You know? Y'all will let a man, not y'all, but women who talk like that will let a man dog them out. Dog them out as long as he's dogging them out with another woman. What the fuck is that shit? You know? You said you'll be cheating too. Okay, well, I think we're at a point in this discussion where I think I can raise the white flag here and just acknowledge that I think we're operating from two very different levels of insight and maturity about relationships. No shade to you, my dear. I'm trying to teach you all about healthy relationship dynamics, setting boundaries, and leaving what is not serving you. And you are basically putting conditions on reasons to stay in an unhealthy relationship. If you cheat with a man, it's done. If you cheat with a woman, I'll stay, but I'm going to cheat on you. Darling, if this is your actual and factual mindset, I honor that and I respect that, but I would highly recommend that you go to the link in my Instagram page and get my book. I think there's some things for you to work through. Because all of this shit you're talking about is completely fucking unacceptable. And the fact that you're rationalizing it is a reflection to me that either you're just saying shit on the internet just for fun, or that you actually believe it. You said he was a fairy, I'm out. See, now you're using derogatory terms and you think it's okay. So I've given you your advice, but your lack of maturity is showing. So I'm not going to block you. I'm just going to remove you from the live. Okay? God bless you, sweetie. Okay. Think on that. So what was the next question? That's the dumbest shit I ever fucking heard. That's the stupidest shit. Oh, let me see here. You said you're going to buy the book for her. I think she's a therapist. It's not a book at this point. Let me see here. Where's the one I just cut? I just cut one. What about online dating? Go for it. But remember, with online dating, it attracts a myriad of different types of people. In some cases, it's going to attract people who are very, very open and looking for something. You're going to attract people who just want to, for lack of better terms, waste your time. not that they intentionally want to waste your time, but they just are not looking for anything. They literally just want to come on here and just shoot the shit. You know what I mean? You're going to attract those types too. So with online dating, my logic is match with as many people as you think you might be attracted to. Just match, you know? And with it, talk to as many people as you want, but don't take anyone remotely seriously, even remotely seriously, as even a potential contender unless they ask you to go out. If you're talking for more than a week and they have not asked you to go out, then I think you should stop responding at that point in time and just let them know before you start responding. Hey, it's been really good talking to you, but I don't think we're on the same vibe. So good luck with finding. I'm looking for someone who wants to take things offline. And it seems like you're not ready to do that yet. So good luck with finding what you're looking for. You can say that, and then move on. Or he'll say, "Oh, my bad. Are you available this weekend?" You know what I mean? But just be okay with that. I think sometimes people burn out on online dating because they think that everyone they match with could be a good match. No. You got some people on there who just have horrible fucking social skills. And so they use online dating as a way to connect with people and do something that feels like dating but doesn't actually require them to show up emotionally. You have some people on there who have really low self-esteem. And so they're just on there for the ego boost of matching with people. But they have no intention to do anything further. So you have to accept that. And that doesn't mean the overall platform is bad. It just means that there are some people on there who like that. So learn to sift through people quickly. You know what I mean? That's my logic. Sift through them quickly. You know? I think it's a great platform. I mean, online dating is a great resource, I should say, not platform. You just have to be sure that you are not giving it more energy, so to speak, than what it deserves until it deserves it. They love bomb, hate on, I don't know what that means, baby. Why do men jump into dating pool while going through financial hardship? So what? People should wait until they're financially perfect to date? I mean, I know I've told you before that a broke man is an angry man. But at the end of the day, he still may want love. You know? Y'all date when y'all going through hardship. I swear to God, if it required a 750 credit score to date, half of y'all wouldn't be dating. I'm just saying, like, let's not hold them to standards that you not hold yourself to. But to that point, let's be clear about this. There are many women out here who, rightfully so, don't want to date a man if he can't at least afford to show up financially, take him out, and so on and so forth. I get that, and you have a right to feel that way. But there are also some women out here where that's just not a concern for them. Right? So my issue is less with broke men dating and more with broke men dating women who have a standard, where that woman's standards require him to have money. Don't date women you can't afford. I think that's the bigger thing. So the bigger question is not why do men date when they're going through financial hardship. The real question for me is why do men date women that they can't afford? Choose one who's okay with where you at. You know what I'm saying? How long do you wait for a man to get a job? I would never date a man who don't have a job unless he's independently wealthy. The only reason why you should not have a job is because you sold your business or maybe you got recently laid off and you're looking for a new one. You know what I mean? Yeah, but that's being reasonable. But hell no. Just unemployed? Just unemployed? The fuck? Hell no. Never do that shit. What keeps a man's attention? By you not giving him too much attention. Stop giving these men so much attention. Trust me on that. If you want to keep a man's attention, give him less attention. Be mysterious. Be exciting. He asks, what you doing? Where you at? Don't answer. He had a trip on a Saturday night. What you doing? You don't get to check in on me and find out my whereabouts. You're not my director of security. You don't get to know that information. You don't get to know that. What you doing? Having him In fact, ignore him. Ignore him. You ever had men do that? You post something on the gram, like a cute little picture, you out someplace, and then he texts you 10 minutes later, hey, what you up to tonight? Girl, you think he really cares? He trying to clock what's going on. Ignore him. Don't respond. If it's not your man, don't respond. Then the next day, hey, last night was amazing. I just saw your message this morning. Hope you had an amazing night. Thanks for checking on me. I see some men who are like, don't do that. Don't do that because he ain't going to like that. He going to be mad at you. He going to start talking to you. Weak feminine men do that. Masculine men see it as a challenge. They're like, oh, so you was out and about? Let me, whoever you was out with, let me top him next time. Let me do it better. They love that, honey. They're going to do it better. They're going to find a way to do it better. Don't you worry about that. Never tell a man where you was at. Even if he asked directly, yeah, who was you with last night? I was just out with some friends. It was amazing. Or don't say friends. Out with a friend. One of my friends invited me out. It was so good. We went to the blah, 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 blah. It was so great and blah, blah, blah. And then we went to so-and-so. But anyway, how was your night? Girl, I play so goddamn dumb. You said 7 years, no ring. Do I leave? He said he's not financially ready. Girl, you do whatever you want to do. But after 7 years, you're not financially ready. You stuck beside him for 7 years when he didn't feel financially ready, and he still don't feel like he's ready for you, girl. I don't think it's about the money. I think the money's an excuse. You can go to the Justice of the Peace and get married for what, less than $100? Girl, please. I understand, baby. I've never defined you by your money. I look crazy. I've never defined you by your money. I ain't got enough to really pin up here. When I do, girl, y'all ain't gonna tell me nothing. I'm gonna have my hair pinned up. It's gonna be crazy. I'm like, I've never defined you by your money or anything like that. I've always loved you no matter what's going on in your life. But I think you're right. It's probably best that you focus on whatever you feel is important to you right now. And if financial empowerment is really important to you, I think you should focus on that. And yeah, I think that's what you should focus on rather than focusing on us. So I wish you the best with your future and whatever it is you are looking to accomplish. Not, I'll be waiting on you. I'm here. So what you just breaking up with me? Because of my financial situation? No, not because of your financial situation. But for you, because of your financial situation, you don't want to move forward. And I'm not willing to wait on that. So I want to free you to focus on what's important to you, which is your finances. Because it seems like your finances are a really important focus to you, so much so that it takes priority over us. And that's fine. So I wish you the best. And play hardball. Don't answer his calls for a while. He made you wait 7 years. He can wait 7 days, 7 weeks for all I give a shit. You know what I mean? I wouldn't give two shits. Go ahead and free yourself. If you don't want me, then don't talk to me. Hey. Go ahead to someone else. Hey, baby. What's going on with your hair tonight? Let me zoom in here. It appears to me that you're a person of color, black. I can't see very closely, but you're a black person there. So are you really asking that question? What's going? As I'm doing this, do you not have a sister, a brother, a friend who's had braids? Have you never seen someone take their hair out? I'm just asking. I'm just curious. You know, I could accept it if you was like somebody from Billings, where's Billings? North Dakota, Nebraska? Where's it at? Where's Billings? Billings, Montana. They say I'm just joking. I know. But you gave me room to make a joke out of this, and you just gave me good material, so we got to go with it now. Billings, Montana. You've never seen this. But no, I think people in Billings, Montana get their hair braided too. I don't know why Billings came to mind, but it did just come to mind. Let me see here. I do stay with a different hairstyle. Somebody said that to me the other day. Dude called himself Flirt with me. He's like, your hair is always different. You sound from Chicago. Then you better get the fuck off here acting like you know what the fuck I'm doing my hair. The fuck? You know what the fuck I'm doing my goddamn hair? So I'm from Chicago. Ciao. But no, he said, you always change your hair. I said, you like it? Oh, I love it when you change your hair. That's good. How you want to see me do my hair next? So, I don't want that. I was just flirting. How you want me to do my hair next? I want to make sure you like it since you be noticing it. Girl. You saw what Melba Moore said, the Melba Moore, who got her star on the Walk of Fame in Hollywood. She says, MJ is a divo. Change is good. Exactly, Melba. We can never be the same. We have to keep them guessing. All right? Y'all don't know what y'all did when y'all gave me hair. And when I got me some hair, I was like, listen, it's over. I'm going to always be changing it. Is it possible for a man to fall in love with a woman in 4 months? Maybe it's possible for a man to fall in love in 4 days. That I don't mean all of them will, but child, yes. Humans can fall in love quickly. I believe in that. Would I date a bisexual? Would I? I've done it before. It was not an experience that I look to repeat. Being honest, I feel bad about it. I be getting it when y'all be like, I don't want to date a bisexual man. But my reason is different than y'all. I think my greater concern is not that I don't want to. I think I need to know a little bit more of the story. And I know this may sound really ignorant. I will own it. It could be ignorant. But in my mind, in my experience, I did not have the greatest experience dating a bisexual man. He was nice in a lot of ways. But I remember there were times where he would seemingly flirt with women or vice versa. And when I had a problem, he was like, that's just a woman. I'm not going to get with her. You know, I'm more attracted to men anyway. He kind of gave himself a pass with women, you know, and I just thought that I didn't like that, you know, number one. I wasn't worried about, oh, she can give him something I can't give him. I ain't worried about that. I think people are attracted to who they're attracted to. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm judging all bisexual men based on my experience with this particular individual, which I'll own. That's probably not the best way to go. So if I based it on my experience with him, no, I wouldn't want to do that. But if I open my mind to the idea that not all bisexual men are the same, because clearly they're all not, then maybe I could be open to it, you know? But personally, would I rather be with a man who I know is only attracted to me? Yeah, that'd be my preference, you know? But hey, even if you do get with a man who's straight, and he's only attracted to you as a woman, or I get with a man who's gay, who's only attracted to men, that still don't mean I'm the only man he's attracted to. If you get with a straight man, that still don't mean you're the only woman he's attracted to. You know what I mean? So I guess, does it really matter if he's bisexual? Oh my God, y'all. Ugh. You know what I mean? Hold on, what Melba say? You said exactly. What did Melba say? I'm scrolling up. Oh, she was talking about my Devo. You were talking about the Devo comment she made. What do I put on my skin? I wash my face with a regular face wash, and I moisturize it, and I mix sometimes I showed it on camera the other day. I mix glycerin with my skin, with my moisturizer sometimes. You said, I saw you in the audience at the BET Awards. I screamed like you were my cousin. Like, look at MJ, bougie ass in all white. At the BET Awards last night. Girl, I'm in Brazil. I was not in the BET Awards. If that helps my image, you know, that's some good publicity for me, then I'll go with it. But I was not at the BET Awards. I don't even know where it was at. No, I would no shade to it. I would love to have been there, but I wasn't there. I'm in Brazil. I swear to you, I am literally on another continent. Literally. Okay. Where's my little hair thing at? So we can cover my head up. Okay. No. See, being in I almost hit the button. Push the button. You gotta push it if you wanna come in. Push the button. Push the button, y'all. My Brazil, what's his name? Bonnet. I bought it to do a video the other day. Mm-hmm. You say you're always traveling. I don't travel that much. I live in Brazil. Like I'm not like leaving Brazil. I'm pretty much here. Y'all think I'm traveling. No, I just don't live where you live. I live different. I live someplace else. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Let me push this in here. All right, y'all. Y'all had me all night. This is a long live. I was like, let me do this. And I'm going to take my ass to bed. You said when your boo comes over, should you wear a hair bonnet all the time? What do I do? Well, if he's, it depends. I do if I need to. Shit, I don't hide it. Melba said MJ is international. I am. Mm-hmm. You said, so you moved there? Mm-hmm. I live in Brazil. I live in Brazil. I'm a global citizen. If my hair ain't done, he see my hair done, not done. He see it looking every which way but Sunday. Honey, every which way but Sunday. Mm-hmm. So, I feel like a man who you with, I don't think he should see it at your worst, but girl, I ain't worried about him always seeing me at my best. Child, the fuck, that's too much work. All right, y'all. I'm going to go. I'll make sure I post this video later. Okay, y'all. Bye. Bye. This is wonderful. Bye.